there, beautiful beings, and welcome to my sacred space. My name is Raven, and thank you so much for being here. If you enjoy deck unboxings, deck comparisons, seeing flip-throughs, or maybe even tarot readings for free for the collective, consider subscribing to my channel. It does help me out. Okay, so today's agenda, we are going to go through my 3 mermaid decks. For the longest time, I've only had these 2 in my possession because my sister went inside my room one day and decided she was going to take one of my tarot decks, and this was the one that stood out to her, so she picked it. She doesn't know how to read the tarot. She still doesn't know how to read the tarot, so she just decided to return it to me after 2 years. So yeah, and that's the reason why I'm doing this video. I think it's the right time for me to do a comparison. I could have done just these 2, but yeah, I was waiting for this prodigal daughter to return so that I can give you like more options if you're very much into mermaids. Towards the latter part of the video, I will be doing a flip through of the cards side by side so that you can see how the artists and the creators were able to represent each of the cards with their own style and their own twist. All right, so let's go to Leeza Robertson's Mermaid Tarot first. This is a hefty deck. This is by Llewellyn, and as some of you might already know, Llewellyn does provide like a chunky guidebook. So as you can see, this one is really heavy, and they used a nice paper. So I'm gonna go through the guidebooks, very quickly as well, just so you have an idea. So I think this is a good deck for beginners because this really has like substantial amount of information. Like introduction is like very lengthy. You have how many pages? Yeah, you have about, well, including the actual representation, but is that how it looks like all throughout? I don't really remember. This has been with me for a long time, but essentially 2 full pages of explanations per card for the major arcana. For the minor, let's have a look. Yeah, pretty much the same for the minor cards as well. So what I like about this one is it has, all right, so you have a page here for notes wherein you can write your thoughts, your feelings, or whatever energy you felt when going through a specific card. Or does it have like a special meaning for you? Maybe something that will help you understand or memorize the meaning of that card. Maybe it reminds you of someone. It's a good thing that you have notes here so that you can insert your thoughts about the tarot deck. And then here you have more pages for notes. Is it? And then she has also a final note here. There you go. So Leeza Robertson is quite known to write good tarot guidebooks. So might be something you would consider if you're a beginner. So this is the deck. I'm gonna go through it later. I'm just gonna put this aside, and then we're gonna check the packaging of the Dame Darcy deck. Okay, so this one is Dame Darcy. This is an independent deck. It's a cult classic or a cult favorite. Actually, a lot of people love this deck. It is gorgeous. I love the feel, like the matte deck. It has 2 additional cards, so that's Dame Darcy, and a note. So she doesn't have a guidebook for this one. I think you can purchase it separately. I'm not so sure, but I already used to the tarot, so I don't need a guidebook for this one. So that is it. It has a clamshell opening, magnetic, so it's a very good packaging, very sturdy. So this is the deck. We're gonna have a look at that later. I'm gonna set that aside. Moving on to my Lo Scarabeo deck. So this one is Tarot of Mermaids. So as you know, Lo Scarabeo decks, they don't have like full-size guidebooks. They just have little white books like this one. So you have English, Italiano, Espanol, Francais, and Deutsch or German. You have a spread here because you don't have it anywhere else in the deck or in the guidebook. So let's just go through it very quickly. So it's like some sort of like a foreword, like more information, I guess, and then Tarot of Mermaids. Onto your major arcana cards, minor. So basically, the little white book of Lo Scarabeo, they just provide you with keywords that you can associate with the actual suits. So this is Tarocchi delle Sirene. I think that's Italian already. Let's check out Deutsch. This is Spanish. Deutsch is the last one. Ooh, Reichtum besitzt ein Kufnte. Oh, I'm still learning German, so this is really cool for me. Okay, let's move on. Sorry. All right, so on to the cards. Let's compare the sizes first before we go and do some sort of like an in-depth review. Just the sizes. Okay. All right. So this one has a typical Lo Scarabeo deck, which is a little bit more narrow, a little bit slimmer, right? But the size is pretty much this, well, you know, it's a hairline shorter than this one, which is your typical tarot deck size, your Dame Darcy Mermaid Tarot. The Llewellyn deck is a lot, well, not really a lot, but you know, it's quite shorter. But yeah, that's how all Llewellyn decks are. This one has a glossy finish. I'm not sure if you can see. Yeah, this one is fully matte. This one is, it's a plasticky card. So it's not fully glossy, but yeah, you know what? This one's not fully glossy as well, but it does have some sheen to it. Edging. Okay, this one, I edged it myself. You're not gonna get it in this color. I just used a regular blue marker and I colored it. This one, it's supposed to be like a really pretty matte gilding. I'm not so sure if you can see like with the light that I have. This one doesn't have any edging. All right, so I'm gonna flip over the cards. Gosh, I wish I have 3 hands so that it's easier for me to, oh, what are you doing? There's a cat who's trying to join us. There you go. Hey, buddy. Okay, all right, well, he just moved past. That's good. Okay, yeah, we don't need your tail here. Yeah, bud. You're a handsome boy. Okay. All right, I'm gonna start with the flip through. So just pay attention. You know, these 3 decks are based off of Rider-Waite-Smith, but you can clearly see that the artist had like a really good vision. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, the cat. Oh my god, sorry. All right, so the artist, as I was saying, the artist really had their own vision. Like you can clearly see it in how the artwork is presented. This one is, I think, you know, out of the 3, oh gosh, sorry, fruit fly. I'm not so sure if it's the one that strayed, you know, far away from the typical RWS scenes, but yeah, you know, the others still have some, or at least like the significant symbols in the actual card or in the actual scene that's drawn. But yeah, you know, these mermaid decks, you know, they didn't strictly copy just Rider-Waite-Smiths and then turn them into mermaids. They injected their own personality, their own vibe into the cards. And you know, I think I'm rambling, so let's just go ahead with the flip through. there you have it. That's the flip through of these 3 decks. I was pointing out some of the similarities earlier between these 2 decks, and it's not shown here because, like I said, you know, out of the 3, this one's straight farthest away from the RWS style. But even though it did, I feel like you can clearly see as well, or still, the messages that the actual scenes or the actual card is trying to convey. Like, some symbolisms are missing, some are there, some are completely like different in its style, but I think, you know, they are able to express the meaning of the card, like you saw earlier with the 5 of Cups, right? You know, it's not your similar 5 of Cups that you normally see on an RWS deck, but you get the feeling. I love this card specifically because I'm also a diver. But yeah, I mean, this one, it's a different 9 of Wands, but it's there. Like, they are able to show the emotion that is associated with that card. This one, as you can see, has some sort of like a theme. If it's swords, it's kind of like in an icy setting, right? The wands, obviously you have like fire in it, like an element of fire. Even though it's underwater, they were able to pull that off, so I think that's really cool. For the cups, of course, you know, you have your shells, your actual cups. See this one. Oh, I'm so sad. I don't know, it just makes me feel sad. Like, I really can feel the raw emotions coming through from this deck, despite it not being very, very similar to the RWS system. I feel like they took inspiration from it, but yeah, they went, you know, they had free reign to design their own version of an RWS myth mermaid style. So I think that's really cool. This deck is the smallest out of the 3, and the cardstock that Llewellyn uses is something that's very easy to shuffle. Oh, sorry, let me do it again, sorry. So the cardstock it's easy to shuffle, it's very bendable, it's flexible, it snaps back. So, you know, I really like this one. All right, next up, this one. I adore this deck. I have been wanting to get this Dame Darcy Mermaid Tarot for a long time, and I'm really happy that I did because I do love this style. It's super quirky, it's so strange. Like, but you know, despite that, you know, despite being everything just written very weirdly and a little bit comic-ish or something, or I don't know, it has some sort of charm, and I really do like it. And you saw earlier in the comparison that this deck, you know, it stuck to the RWS system, I think, as best as they could, while injecting Dame Darcy's own style. Sorry for the siren. I live near a hospital, so yeah. And I apologize for the what do you call that, the fruit flies earlier. God, that was annoying. I left a banana peel here, but anyway. So you have like this very vintagey vibe for this deck. I love how like the colors are drawn outside of the lines. I love it. It just adds like this, you know, very charming quality, this this very strange vibe, but I don't know, I kind of dig it. I like it. It's very unique. You know, I don't think I'll see another deck like this one out there. You know how very different it is, and I think it's really cool that it stands out. In this deck, you can see there's no borders. This one has, but very minimal, and doesn't take away from the style. But yes, what else can I say about the Dame Darcy deck? The mermaids, I love the diversity in this deck as well. And it's cool that the mermaids are covered up. You know, out of the 3, I think this one is the least child-friendly because, you know, yeah, you can clearly see titties and whatnot there. But yeah, this is a really nice deck. I love the energy that it brings. It has some sort of like an older sister vibe. That's what it gives me. On to the Tarot of Mermaids by Lo Scarabeo. Yeah, like I said, you know, this is not PG-13. It's not kid-friendly just because of the sheer amount of boobs here that's shown. But other than that, you know, I think this is a good deck because it stuck to the RWS style, just mermaidized it. Inventing words. But yeah, you see, even the sun, and it's riding, the mermaid is riding a horse, and it has the flag, and it's, you know, it has the sun behind it. So it is like the RWS representation of the specific card, just tweaked a lot because it's a mermaid deck. But if you remember earlier, like some of the images between these two decks are kind of like similar. You can clearly see the RWS inspiration, and you know, they managed to inject their own vibe to it. This deck swords is, you know, very bluish, similar to the first deck. It has this like color scheme. For chalices, it's of course also shells, which I think is really cool. And for the pentacles with the fire, of course, it's also a bit fiery in color, right? As for the face of the card, you have like a bar here, and then you have the different languages or different translation. And then this is as der Moonsin, so that's as der Moonsin, so that's German. But yeah, that's how it looks like. I'm gonna shuffle this now. Oh gosh, Pietro. Sorry, the cat is like being cray. So a lot of people don't like Lo Scarabeo cardstock. Meanwhile, I love it because it's easy to shuffle. It snaps back. I like how easy it is to shuffle this deck. I don't have any problems with it. So yeah, I like it. Would I recommend this for a beginner? Maybe not so much, because I don't know, like for a beginner, yes, but for kids, no, not really. This deck, I don't think I shuffled this for you. I do have a small hand, so I'm gonna cut it into two just so that I can show you, because this deck has maybe 350 GSM, so that's a lot thicker than this too. This one has, of course, the best quality out of the three in terms of like the cardstock and production. This is an independent deck, which means, you know, it was not mass produced. So yeah, the quality is very spot on. I love the cardstock that they use for the paper. I love the printout. This is a very beautiful deck. This is definitely a gem. And just for the last part, we're going to compare the backing. I already shuffled this one. Shuffle it this way. It's also easy, even though it's quite glossy. It doesn't fly all over the place. But for the backing, there you go. I think this is really the prettiest, but like I said, you know, this one has some sort of like an effect on me. I really do love Dame Darcy's style. This one, I'm not really so keen on the backing, but as you can clearly see, this is just, you know, the ocean, maybe I don't know, manipulated into like a symmetrical style, whatever. This one is very, very pretty with like a golden pearl in the middle, and you know, the seaweeds wrapping itself around it, or like twirling, encircling around the pearl. That's very beautiful. This has a nautical theme. Out of the three decks, which one would you prefer? I'm not gonna say anything because I do love the three, but okay, you know what, I do prefer this one. But I don't know, what do you guys think? I would love to hear your thoughts. Which deck do you have? If you have all three, let me know how you feel about them. Which one's your favorite? Which one would you like to purchase? And that is it. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave them down in the comment section. I do try my best to go through comments and respond to them as soon as I can. I am very busy, but I still, you know, really try to squeeze it in my workload. But yes, if you enjoy this video, kindly consider giving it a like. Maybe, you know, maybe subscribe to my channel. It really does help me out. And that is it. Thank you so much for being here, and I hope you all have a beautiful day ahead. Bye!